Hello everyone, this is your civics teacher here, and today I am going to start the very first chapter of NCERT Grade 8 Civics, that is the Indian Constitution. And students, this chapter will be in two parts, and this one is the first part of your chapter number 1. So let's start. Now students, before moving on towards the chapter, it is necessary for all of you to understand that why there is a need to study Indian constitutions and why there is a need to frame a constitution actually came into being. So let's understand with an example. Student, football. Football is a game many of you have probably heard of or even played, and this is a game that involves the player's feet. According to the rules of football, if the ball touches the arm of any player, then this is considered a foul. So if players start holding the football in their hands and passing it around, then they are not playing football anymore. Students, in fact, similarly, other games such as hockey or cricket also have rules according to which they are played. Each of these rules helps define the game and helps us differentiate one game from another. As these are fundamentals to the game, we can also call them the constitutive rules of the game. Like these games, a society also has constitutive rules that makes it what it is and differentiate it from other kind of society. Students, in large societies in which different communities of people live together, these rules are formulated through consensus, and in modern countries, this consensus is usually available in written form. So students, a written document in which we find such rules is called a constitution. So students, now let's learn and discuss that what is constitution and what's its important. So students, now the question is that what is constitution and what is the importance of constitution, or why do we need a constitution? Students, a constitution is primarily a set of rules and principles that specify that how a country should be governed, how power is distributed and controlled, and what rights citizens possess. And constitutions also tells that what are the branches of the government and what powers they have, means these branches. And students, the constitution also tells that what the branches of the government are and what powers they have and how they work. Students, now the question is that what is the importance of constitutions, or why do we need a constitution? Students, the constitution is important because it protects individual freedom and its fundamental principles. The constitution places the government's power in the hands of the citizen, and it limits the power of the government and establishes a system of checks and balances. And students, the primary function of a constitution is to lay out the basic structure of the government according to which the people are to be governed. It is the constitution of a country which establishes the three main organs of the government, namely the legislature, executive, and judiciary. And students, constitution of a country not only defines the powers allotted to each of the three main organs, but it also significantly makes a clear demarcation of the responsibilities assigned to each of them. It means constitution effectively regulates the relationship between these organs as well as the relationship between the government and its people. Student, that's why we need a constitution. Now let's move on towards the next slide. Student, now as you can see here a national flag. Can you identify the country to which this national flag belongs? Yes, you all are right. It is the national flag of Nepal. And as you can see here, the different pictures here, peoples were protesting against some issue. So in this section, we will discuss that what these peoples are protest for. Students, Now, let us try and understand that what is the recent history of Nepal. Students, as you all know, Nepal is a country that borders India on the north. And student, until quite recently, Nepal was a monarchy, means a form of government in which a monarch, such as a king or queen, rules a kingdom or empire on its own terms and condition. So students, the previous constitution of Nepal, which had been adopted in 1990, reflected the fact that the final authority, means power, rested with the king. So a people's movement in Nepal fought for several decades to establish democracy, and in 2006 they finally succeeding in putting an end to the powers of the king. And now the people have to write a new constitution to establish Nepal as a democracy. And the reason that they do not want to continue with the previous constitution is because it doesn't reflect the ideals of the country that they want Nepal to be and they have fought for. So students, here in all these figures, peoples are protesting for the democracy in their country, means Nepal. Students, as in the game of football, in which a change in the constitutive rules will change the game altogether. Nepal, by moving from a monarchy to a democratic government, needs to change all its constitutive rules in order to usher in a new society. And this is why the people of Nepal are in the process of writing a new constitution for the country. And the caption alongside elaborates Nepal's struggle for democracy. And the second important purpose of a constitution is to define the nature of country's political system. For example, Nepal's earlier constitution stated that the country was to be ruled by the monarch, means the king, and his council of ministers. Students, in countries that have adopted a democratic form of government or polity, the constitution plays a very crucial role in laying out certain important guidelines that govern decision making within these societies. As you all know that in a democracy, we choose our leaders so that they can exercise their power responsibly on our behalf. However, there is always the possibility that these leaders might misuse their authority or power, and the constitution usually provides safeguard against this. And students, that's why the people of Nepal demanded for a democratic country. Students, as you can see here the heading, the Indian Constitution. So in this section, we will learn and discuss that what is Indian Constitution and how Indian Constitution is different from rest of the countries of the world. Students, as we already discussed that the constitutions of any country is the supreme law of that country. So in the same way, Constitution of India is the supreme law in India, and the constitutions of India framework for political principles, procedures, and the powers of the government. Means the Indian constitutions define the powers of the governments according to which they govern the country. And student, the most amazing fact of Indian constitution is that it is the longest handwritten constitution in the world with 448 articles, 25 parts, and 12 schedules. And students, the Constitution of India was written on 26 November 1949 and was made the center of law in 26 January 1950. Now let's move on towards the next slide. And students, the Constituent Assembly who formed the Indian Constitution took almost 3 years, means totally 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to form the Indian Constitution or to complete this historical work of drafting the constitution for an independent nation means India. And students, during this period means 2 years, 11 months and 17 days. It had 11 sessions covering a total of 165 days to make a complete discussion over this Indian constitution. And out of 165 days, 114 days were spent on the consideration of the draft constitution, means to say they consider each and every point of this constitution. And students, as you can see here in this figure, all these are the major members of the Constituent Assembly who form the Indian Constitution. Now, students, here are the most important facts of the Indian Constitution that make it different from the Constitution of rest of the world. So, let's discuss them one by one. Students, the Constitution was adopted on 26 November 1949, while it came into force on 26 January 1950. That's why on every year 26 January we celebrate it as a Republic Day, because on 26 January 1950 our Constitution was enforced. Second, the Constitution of India was not typeset or printed but was handwritten and calligraphed in both English and Hindi. And students, as I said in the earlier slide also, that the Indian Constitution is the world's longest handwritten constitution, and it is written in both Hindi and English language. Next, the original copies of the Constitution of India are kept in special helium-filled cases in the Library of the Parliament of India. And students, the original copies means the main copies of the Constitution of India are kept in the Library of the Parliament of India in a special cases that is basically made up of helium filled, so that copies may not destroyed. Next, the Indian Constitution is known as bag of borrowings. Student, it is the most interesting fact of Indian Constitution that it is also known as bag of borrowing. Means many interesting facts of the Indian Constitutions are basically borrowed from the Constitution of different countries of the world. Like the concept of liberty, equality and fraternity in our constitutions were taken from the French Constitution. In the same way, the concept of 5-year plans in our constitution was taken from the Constitution of USSR. And in the same way, the directive principle concept was taken from the Constitution of Ireland. And likewise, the same, the laws on which the Supreme Court functioned were taken from the Constitution of Japan. And that's why Indian Constitution is known as bag of borrowings. And the last point, as I said earlier, that it is the longest written constitution of an independent country in the world. And students, all these facts make the Indian Constitution different from the rest constitutions of the world. Now let's move on towards the next slide. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Students, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar played a very significant role in forming the Indian Constitution. So, in this chapter, it is necessary for all of you to learn about him. Students, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was born on April 14, 1891 in Madhya Pradesh, and his full name was Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, and he was also known as Baba Saheb Ambedkar. And students, he was a renowned social reformer, politician and jurist, and due to his significant role in forming the Indian Constitution, he is also known as the father of Indian Constitution. Students, he was born in a family of Meher caste of Hindu household, and that time it is believed that it is a caste of untouchables. So students, due to caste discrimination, Ambedkar had to face a lot of discrimination in the society from time to time. So students, against this ill practice of society, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar formed a member of the Independent Labour Party. Later, the name of this party changed to Scheduled Caste Federation, and his party fought the 1937 Bombay election to the Central Legislative Assembly for 13 reserved and 4 general seats, in which his party won 11 and 3 seats respectively. So, as a result, Baba Saheb was appointed as the Union Law Minister and Chairman of the Constitution Drafting Committee, and later the Constitution Drafting Committee was given the responsibility of writing the Constitution on India. Now students, in this slide you will learn that what was Ambedkar's contribution on building the Constitution of India. Students, as in the previous slide we already discussed that the drafting committee gave the responsibility of framing the Indian Constitution to him, and that's why Ambedkar was appointed as the chairman of the Constitution Drafting Committee on August 1947. And when he was appointed the chairman of the Constitution of Drafting Committee, he believed that the gap between the different classes was important to equalize, or important to make them equal. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to maintain the unity of the country. So, he emphasized on religious, gender and caste equality. And students, that's why Ambedkar introduced the reservation system to create a social balance among the different classes of the society. So, students, the first part of your chapter number 1 is finished here. Now, I will be come back soon with the second part of this chapter. Till then, stay home, stay safe.